to the charts with Big Boss Crypto, bringing on day trading analysis on Bitcoin and on Hbar. Today we see that Bitcoin is kind of moving sideways, accumulating for the next move, which is gonna be big, to the upside or to downside. Let's see what we have going on in the charts. I told you in my last day trading update that we kind of want to see a retrace to the upside, recovering some of the volume residing in this volume candle here. There is an imbalance of sell orders in this candle, that's why it's so big and red. There's basically a lot more sell orders in this candle than there is buy orders, and they are unfilled because that's why we have a big red candle. They are unfilled. There are empty orders here that didn't get filled. They are still waiting to be filled, and that is what the market maker can do. We as retail traders can't do nothing about this. And there's an interesting thing to notice from these volume candles, that they get recovered all the time on every time frame. So if we take a look at how big this candle was, it was 6% downwards move. So we would suggest maybe that 3% should be recovered here, and we kind of got there in this candle right here. As you can see, we kind of touched this, but we need to move up to maybe 22,780 or 22.8k approximately to consider half of the volume candle filled, which is kind of an interesting thing to notice, that they almost always recover these volume candles. And I think, as said to you in my last day trading update, that we had a bigger pattern going on here, a big double top formation here. Please watch my last day trading update if you're new to this concept. But basically we had double top formation, we had the first leg down, we had our first retrace, recovered all of this volume candle right here, as you can see, and we had some spikes in this volume candle zone here. As you can see, spike here, and that is where they reverse price with the second leg down. And now we are currently, possibly we had our second retrace here. We could possibly even spike to 22.8k, and that is where we will form our last leg down, which will be an aggressive move because they want to finish it off pretty fierce so that people go short, thinking that it's gonna go to, I don't know, 0. They're gonna drop price to approximately 21k, and that's where they will form a reversal of some kind with a double bottom formation. People will go short in this area. It will go slow. It will take some time. That's where they will reverse price, and we will have moves to the upside like this, and we will have a double top formation, and then we'll move to the downside again. Possibly. That's how the name of the game is when it comes to day trading. So I'm still looking at 21k as the bottom out target. Could possibly go even lower, but I'm gonna take my profits in this zone. I'm already in my profits. I told you when we were up here in this double top formation that it's unstable. It happened pretty quick. We have a lot of volume candles to the downside. We still have them to the downside. So I think in the coming weeks or months, these volume candles will get recovered. We will have a drop to possibly 17-18k. At the minimum, we could go even lower because we have a volume candles down to 12k or even to 8k. So don't be scared if you kind of didn't buy this previous bottom at 15k. You will get another chance. But that's it for the chart analysis, but let's look at what we have going off this week. We have Jerome Powell testifying on Tuesday, tomorrow, and let's see what he says, because you never know with these events. Most likely he will say nothing scary, but if he does, the market will move. So you need to consider this 4 p.m. European time. That is where you want to be careful with your trades, because we could get some volatility. On Wednesday we have the non-farm employment change. We have Fed Chair Powell testifying again. and we had the jolt job opening. So Wednesday could be a market maker move where we could see some spikes to the upside and to the downside. If we look at the liquidation map, we can see that we have decent amount of money to the upside. As you can see here, we have a spike here approximately here, $33 million at 22.480. Yeah, we have a lot more money to the upside in the nearest price targets. So we could have a spike even higher up to 23k before we have a reversal to the downside, because there's a lot of money sitting in 21k, 20k, 90k and 18k. And to the upside we don't have much going on until we get to, let's say, 27.5k and 29k. That's where we have a lot of liquidation points. Something to consider, we could have a spike to the upside, possibly when Jerome Powell speaks. We could get a tap of 23k and then we could move to the downside again. That's it for Bitcoin. Now I'm going to take a look at Hedera Hashgraph and see what's been going on. We have kind of the same pattern going on in Hbar, and you can see we had a spike down and now we are in some kind of an accumulation phase. But let's zoom out a bit and see what's been going on with Hbar. Huge drop down. As you can see, look at this. Do you recognize this pattern? I've been talking about this pattern a lot, and I'm gonna repeat it because that's what the market maker does. He repeats the same pattern all over again. As you can see, we create a double top formation here and we move aggressively to the downside. Oops, sorry. We move aggressively to the downside. Kind of looks pretty interesting, to be honest. I kind of missed Hbar shorting opportunity because we had an aggressive move to the downside. As you can see here, almost, yeah, you could say that this was a retrace, but I tend to disagree because we had a huge spike down. Now we're in some kind of accumulation phase here. We could spike and recover this volume candle before we have our next leg down, which could bottom out here at 0 or 5 cents. That's where we could get our second retrace, and then we will have a third and final retrace to the downside. Could possibly bottom out at 4.9 cents or even at 4.1 cents if we have an aggressive drop in Bitcoin price. Something to consider here. We have some more room to the downside for Hbar, and we are repeating the same pattern as we do on Bitcoin. Pretty interesting for those of you who notice this pattern here, the double top formation. That was a great opportunity for you, and you do want to wait for an entry when we break this low right here, which was here at approximately 7.8 cents. We did that. We had a retrace. A lot of people got scared here probably in this zone right here because we had a retrace up. People went short on this confirmation. However, those who didn't over leverage and didn't get scared, they are seeing some nice profit right now. Something to consider because they always spike up and then they bam drifted to the downside to reduce retail traders in this area going short. They do want to scare them or liquidate them, and then they reverse to the downside again. Something to consider when trading. I hope you learned something today. We have some interesting moves coming this week, in my opinion. We have Jerome Powell speaking, which could move the market, and we'll see what happens. I think there's more room to the downside. However, this is not financial advice. None of this is. It's all for educational and entertainment purposes only. Please like and subscribe. Remember that it's free to like and subscribe, so please do that. Otherwise, we'll see each other on Wednesday. Big Boss out.